Oh, okay. No, thank you so much. I was really curious about that.
Welcome.
Yes. Mpangi Benika and Tusamba, I think we can start.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. If you'd like to open us in prayer.
Good. No, Brother Benika may go ahead and pray. I'm gonna be waiting after we
Le Vauvamon.
Yala.
Yala.
Tusamba. Let's pray. I'll start off by Psalm 21, 1 to 8. Lord, never let me be defeated. Because you are righteous, help me and save me. Listen to me and save me. Be our secure shelter and a strong fortress to protect us. You are our refuge and defense. Zambiami, rescue us from the wicked, from the power of those who are cruel and evil. Nzambi Tulendu, we put our hope in you. We've trusted in you since we were young. We have relied on you all our life. You have protected us since the day we were born. We will always praise you. Our life has been an example to many because you have been our strong defender. All day long, we will praise you and proclaim your glory. Sedietu kokuzulu ya mulazindi yako zipisangwa ekintinu kya kukiza oluzolo lwako lwavanga ma onvasine kokuzulu vande kwetu kelungu utuloloka masumometo endoloka tulolokanga tatueto utufili komuna mpukumuni utuvuluza muna mbi kadikiaku ye kintinu ye ngolo ya mvu mene
Ingeta.
Ingeta.
Tusamba, how are you?
I'm doing well, Uncle. Kasenge.
Oh, mono pengina kiambote.
And Kieleka, Tima, full of kies.
Okay.
Family for joining us today. Once again, we are here in our Zoom session to praise Tata Nzambe and to learn from our uncle, Pastor MELO. It will be the third session with Pastor MELO. We have seen new faces here. I believe we have introduced yourselves as well. Like Brother Trey, we have and another brother is no longer among us. So welcome. This is your first time in our Zoom session. Welcome. This is a Bantu Talkwist Youth Zoom session where we share the knowledge and the life and deeds of prophets among Gonçalves Talk and the Bantu culture itself, as well, the Mwanda Velala, the Holy Spirit. So without taking more time, we would like to give now the time to our Tio, uncle, and Pastor MELO. Time is yours. Amen.
Okay. Amen. Ingeta. So thank you very much, Matondo Masaka, to my dear nephew, to Samba. And I would like once more to say Matondo to Tata Nzambi Amazulu, the one who gives us the breath of life the one who gives us also his word to be able to penetrate, spiritual secrets. This is not given to anybody. As the Bible says, this is a privilege of we, Bantu people, as Yisodele, as chosen people. I would like to thank also our youth in South Africa, who has taken the initiative of inviting me to share the revelations I've had through the modern semi, through the Holy Spirit, through Tatanzambia Mazulu. And it's always for me an honor and a great joy to be able to, let's say, to share, knowing that this word, when it is shared, it enriches everybody, because I know that you will not remain silent, and you will yourselves echo or be also like it was in former times. It started with 12 people, and today those who are called Christians are over almost 2 billion throughout the world. So I would like to anticipate and tell you that I will have only about 1 hour and 15 minutes left. Luanda time, I'm going up to 4:30 because I have other engagements. So considering that I've almost told you everything, I have told you almost everything with our two previous sessions. Today, I won't speak very much. I will take only about 15 minutes to introduce our topic of the day. And after that, I will give the floor to you, dear sisters and brothers, to ask questions. I think that it's more important for you to receive clarifications about the questions that are rising in your spirit than for me to talk and to talk and to talk. I would like to refer to something that happened exactly 100 years ago. It was, I think, in the month of June 1921 with Prophet Simon Kimbangu, or it was when he was arrested, I think. So it must be in the month of October. Papa Kimbangu, Tata Kimbangu, he raised up his Bible like this, and he told the multitude that was around him, he said, the thief must be caught with the thing he has stolen. And he was referring to the Bible. Now, we as Bantu people, it is very, very, very hard, and I know what I'm talking about, to make people believe that indeed we are the people of the Holy Scriptures. Since, our tradition, our history has been stolen, taken from us, and when, the Edomites, the white people, they have spread out the information that Africa has never had scripture, that our ancestors didn't know how to write, didn't know how to read. So how come, considering that the Jewish faith is based on the scriptures, on the writings of the prophets, and that we, as a people, we have no writings, how come we can say that we are Isolele, or we are the chosen people of Tatanzania? So what is the argument that we could use to demonstrate to people that really the Bible has been stolen to us, and that in the beginning, the Bible was our heritage? We have a very powerful means to make people to twist their way of thinking. And this is out of Tatanzambi's wisdom, with divine wisdom. You know that talking about writings, to sum up, writing is simply the materialization of the word, or the words we speak, okay? In the beginning, for example, when we open the Bible, we see that everything that exists has been created by the word, by Tatanzambi's word, but it wasn't written at the time. We read the Bible and we see, and Tatanzambi said, and every time he spoke, there was something that was created. No writing. This means that the most powerful instrument we have to convince people is not writings. It's only our words. And when I say our words, I mean our languages, okay? Now, it is very easy to make people understand that those who came to us with the Bible under the arm, they were in fact Gentiles. I don't know if you know a weapon that have been used in Australia by our brothers and sisters, the Black or the indigenous people of Australia. And that weapon is called, in French, it is a weapon which has a shape reminding the letter V. They call it boomerang. Do you know it? Do you know it?
Yes.
A boomerang?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what does a boomerang has very, very special? This is a question I'm asking you. What makes the boomerang something very particular?
Well, when you throw it, it's designed to return to you.
Right. Yes. Thank you, Brother Trey. The boomerang, when you throw it to the enemy, it comes, and once it hits the aim, the objective, it comes back to you. And so was the Bible. The Bible was ours. Tatanzambi, in order to bring salvation to all people of the world, he obliged in some way our ancestors to throw the Bible, to give the Bible to other people, knowing that at the end of times, the Bible would return back to us. And this is what is happening right now. The most powerful weapon we have to make people understand that we are, in fact, Isolele, the chosen people, is the language. And let's analyze together I would say that the most important notion to be analyzed when we are talking about spiritual things is the name of Tatanzani, the name of the Creator. So in English, what is the name of the word that is used to designate the Creator?
Well, it's God.
What is the name of the word? It's God. Who can analyze the word God for us to make it match with the Bible? Because but it must imperatively match with the Bible. What is the etymology of God? Who can help us? What does it mean, God?
So I remember you did a video talking about this, and I actually know that it was a word that was developed by the ancient Egyptians, not Bantu people, to reference certain deities. So, and my understanding from the Most High is that it's the first three letters of Gadriel. Is where it actually comes from. So it doesn't really fit our people.
So if we understand well what Brother Trey is referring to, the word God has no link with the Bible. No link at all. Okay?
It's just a title.
It's a title, but it's a pagan title. It has nothing to do with the Bible. And in my point of view, it's very, very, very serious. It's a serious topic. How come, if really these people knew the Creator of the universe, they won't be able to give a name corresponding to him, to his essence? When you analyze, this is the name in the English language. But when we go, for example, to the French language, it's Dieu, Dieu, D-I-E-U. And Dieu comes directly from the Latin language, Dios, okay? And Dios gave, in Portuguese, Deus. And in Deus, we can hear the name Zeus. Zeus was the main or the principal god in the Greek pantheon, which is completely Gentile, pagan. It's only to give you some light in the fact that if those people cannot define the notion of the Creator with the Bible's revelation corresponding to what Tatanzani has revealed in his writings, in his scriptures, in his holy scriptures, it means that they were pagan at the beginning. And starting from that point of view, we can demonstrate that we as Bantu people, we knew the Creator. We knew Tatanzani Amazulu corresponding with what could be said of him in throughout the Bible, through the Holy Spirit. So when we say, how do you say Creator in South Africa, especially?
We say Umdali, and Dala means like, it makes reference to time. Like if you say, how long ago was it? You will say Dala, which means it was a long time ago. So for Creator, we say Umdali. It's kind of like Sonini Nanini, like everlasting, no time.
Everlasting.
Yeah, no, yeah, a creator meaning no one created it. It's been so long since it doesn't have a no one knows who started it.
Because It has no beginning and no end.
No beginning, no
Okay.
end. Umdali.
Okay. So this is how the French Bible define the Creator. They say l'Éternel. L'Éternel means the one who has no beginning, no end. And you see, I didn't know that you define the Creator in this way in South Africa, but it goes, or it matches what is the essence of the Creator. Now, many people, principally when I began to exchange with the diaspora, you know that there's a software in YouTube that translates or writes your words in YouTube, okay? And you have to go back to the writings to correct all that is written wrong. And I remember that many brothers and sisters in the diaspora, they said, oh, what these pastor is preaching can't be true because he's referring to zombie, okay? And you know that zombie has a very negative connotation, you know? For them, zombie and zombie are the same word. But without going deeply into the matter, this was done purposefully by our enemies. When they took us from Mother Africa, they went, for example, to the islands like Hispaniola at that time, which is Haiti and Saint-Domingue. They knew that our ancestors, when they were, who were in their greatest part, they were coming from our Bantu tradition, from the Congo kingdom, they would pray. They used to pray. They prayed to Tata Nzambi. And Tata Nzambi would manifest himself among them with great signs, okay? Signs that the white people couldn't understand. And knowing for them, we could know the true creator. And when they saw those signs of those powerful signs, they linked it to a satanic spirituality, okay? And the name, the sacred name of Tata Nzambi became negatively connotated. But when we analyze Nzambi, you will see that throughout the Bible, we will have the most accurate definition of what the Creator is. We know that Creator is semi, all right? And I've put another word on the semi, which is zemi, okay? And zemi in Lingala, you know that Lingala is the language, African language, Bantu language, which is spoken throughout the Democratic Republic of Congo, in some part of Gabon, Cameroon. In Lingala, zemi is simply the state of a woman who is pregnant, okay? A woman who is pregnant, azana zemi. But you can see that the word zemi in Lingala and semi in Kikongo are the same word, okay? But what is the link? It's that, for me, the deepest way of describing the Creator is that the Creator is the one who, from a seed, okay, from a seed can make everything exist. The seed is the most powerful element on earth, because all of us as individuals, as human beings, we are the result of a seed. And you see, the seed is someone no one can see when it is developing. And it gives such fantastic realities that this is the most wonderful manifestation of who that Nzambi is. So Nsemi is the seed. Zemi is the seed which is in a woman's womb. And from Semi, we have the superlative. It means that the most powerful expression of Semi is Zambi. There's a curiosity when you study the Hebraic language. It's about the name of Tatanzambi, or the way they designate Tatanzambi. You know that in the so-called Hebraic language or the Yiddish language, Tatanzambi is Elohim. Okay? Elohim. And Elohim that I write here, Elohim is a plural. It's not a singular. So the first sentence we find in the Bible is, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. But in the Hebraic Bible, it would be Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Bara is the verb to create. Okay? It is in singular. And Elohim is plural. This is a contradiction. This is completely contradictory because, you know, up to now, the Jewish faith is based on the notion of a unique God. God is one. God cannot be plural, they say. But how come they designate him using a plural form, Elohim? This they took from our Bantu tradition, because we say in Semi, we would say in Semi as one, okay? One form of the creator in Semi. But since our ancestors, they knew that in fact it's a trinity, which you can see with the word Tata. I explain in my book, The Most Intelligent Language of the World, that in fact Tata and Tatu is the same word. Tatu means three in Kikongo, Tatu.
And in Xhosa,
okay. In Xhosa also?
It means, yes, Ndatu is three.
Wonderful. So Tatu and Tata, which means father.
Yes, father.
You see that it's the same word. And in two words, we are referring to a notion of the creator that most of the people who don't know the Bible, they can't understand. They can't understand. When we refer to Islam, for example, they can't understand this. They say God is unique. And they say that we Christians, we are completely mistaken because we believe that the Father, the Creator, can be three. But it is deeply inserted in our languages. Tata, the Father, Tatu, three. And this also is clearing out why, when the Bible was translated from our Bantu languages to the so-called Hebraic or Yiddish language, they couldn't but write it as a plural form, Elohim, because in Elohim, you have three elements, okay? So only these, since we are able to enlighten the understanding of the Bible, which the so-called Yiddish or Hebraic language is unable to do, it means that we are in the beginning, it was in our languages. And, since the Bible was the most powerful weapon that Tata Nzambi would use, in fact, to put an end to this wicked generation, okay? Tata Nzambi left it like that. He left the Bible go as a boomerang, and now the Bible is coming back to us. Okay? So when we say,
sorry.
Yes, yeah.
May I say something? Actually, I actually did some research on Elohim.
Yeah.
And they're not talking about the Most High.
Yeah.
They even
Right.
mock it here in America. The Elohim that they're when they say Elohim, if I don't know if you've ever seen the logo for Paramount Pictures, the stars that go around the mountain.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Elohim that they're using are the angels that were on Mount that fell and came down to Mount what is it called? Hernan. Because it references, because now that I know that the Ish people are actually predominantly the Hittites mixed with Edom, they're talking about their gods when they say Elohim.
Okay.
So they're not even referring to Tata Nzambi at all.
That's true. That's true. And when the notion of the fallen angels in the Bible is a link not with Tata Nzambi, but with the devil, with Satan. When we read Revelation chapter 12, it tells us about the fallen angel, the one who were rebellious against our Creator, and they were, they were thrown out of the heavens, and they fell on the earth. But to do not good things to the earth, but to become the worst enemies of Tata Nzambi. So how come that the nation that says that they are the so-called Isolele, the chosen people of God, would refer to those fallen angels to designate the Creator? When we, as Bantu people, we know that the Creator, in fact, is a seed. Seed in the Latin language is semen. Semen, you will see that semen. And this is another notion that shows that we are in reality Isolele, the true Tata Nzambi's people, is the fact that we were talking about Zemi, seed, but in our traditions, we say in the Congo language, Sema is to talk, and Sema is to create. And those of you who know Swahili, they know that in Swahili, Ninasema means I speak, okay? So how come that a spiritual, very deep notion of the way the universe was created, it was created by the word. The word in Kikongo is Nsamu, okay? And the universe is Nsema. Nsamu, Nsema is exactly the same word, which means that our ancestors knew that everything, in fact, was created by the word. So please, I invite all of you to really analyze our Bantu languages. If you speak Xhosa, if you speak Zulu, Swahili, Lingala, and so on, go deep in your languages and we'll see that when it comes to spiritual things, it matches the teachings we find in the Bible. So These are a few examples I'm giving you to demonstrate to those who are very skeptical about the idea that we as African, as Black people, as Bantu people, we could be Isolele. It's very easy to demonstrate through our languages that in fact we are the true Isolele. Now, I've taken about 20 minutes to introduce this topic or our exchange of today. And I would like to receive your questions to be able to answer your questions.
You know, that last word you said in Samu, right?
Yes.
So it was recent. I actually discovered that at one point in time, the son of Noah, Shem, was known as Shamu.
Samu.
Shamu with, yeah. And so the way they put it in our face, and I didn't even know it, the whale that used to perform at SeaWorld, Shamu.
Okay.
When Tatanzami was showing me that, I did have one question about this too, though. So those who say they are but are not, they mock this all the time, is the location of Mount Sioni. Now, you told Sister Speshi, I missed the previous lessons. Are they saying, are they proclaiming that where is Mount Zion? Where's Mount Zion? According to your understanding. Can you hear me?
Is this a question to Sister Speshi or to
No,
me?
to you, Pastor. Because I know that they revealed it actually, and I guess the devil, you could say, did it in secret way, where he actually told us, and it kind of goes into my question about Isaiah chapter 2, where Mount Zion is.
Physically, we could have many Mount Zion, physically speaking. But Zion, for me, designates the local where all nations, all people, all languages will be gathered at the end of times to see Kuswa Congo, Isaiah Congo's glory. Where he is where is Zion. And for the moment, if you will, we could be very deeply into this matter in a next session, but Mount Zion, spiritually speaking and physically speaking, for the moment, is in the north of Angola, where you have been, Brother Trey, recently. It's where Mount Zion is.
Well, I agree. And the reason why I say that, though, is because Tatanzambi and actually Hollywood mocked this a couple of times. The biggest lie that they've ever told us is the separation of the continents, how old that is. They actually mocked it in a cartoon that they knew when it talks about our grandfather Peleg, because he's the link to Abana, that the continents actually separated when Nimrod died. Because in a cartoon that I watched that the people did, they showed the event of the book of Jasher when Esau cut Nimrod's head off. And what was interesting about that is in the movie they made Noah, that was a mockery of our grandfather as well. In the opening scene, the earth is one continent. So basically what they were showing you is that they know based upon, and I guess when you look at the geometric circle or the measures of the earth, is actually, I heard about that stick that's there too, that the Congo is the center of the earth, the center of the continents.
Okay.
So then when Adama would have been created, the Garden of Eden, because I learned that the Atlantic Ocean, and even some Hebrew Israelites, they have been taught this, was once a river. And of course, the continent that they call Atlantis was a part of that connection down by Florida area. And so technically South America is really West Africa, and the United States is really Northwest Africa. So essentially Mount Sinai, Mount Sinai did exist when Adam and Eve were in the garden, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So then that would fit where you say Mount Sinai is in Angola or the Congo.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been hearing that Mount Zion is in Kenya, but I mean, this is what I mean, you know, where confusion is coming in, where we hear in Angola, then we hear it's in Kenya. So I mean, you know, it draws confusion to a certain degree.
Yes. It's confusing, but it shouldn't be, because Mount Zion for sure is where the 12 tribes are.
Gotcha.
Okay. And now there's something else I would like to show you. The last time, we read John chapter 10, verse 30, where Kuswa Kongo says, the Father and me, we are one. And in Kikongo, it gives Mosi. And I showed you that when you read the two syllables from right to left, it gives Mosi. Mosi gives Simon. Okay. And here again, there's a mystery I would like to show you. You see how I have written Zion? Okay. Good. This is Zion. And I will just put M in the middle. What does it give?
Simon.
Okay.
Simon.
So Mount Zion is where Simon's body is.
Buried in the mountain. Okay. All right.
Yes. Okay. These
And
are
things
So
that
that's that location in Beulah where I was, where his body is, right? They said it was in that area.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Because when you mentioned the Deus, you were talking about that earlier. The Portuguese actually gave you the proof in Angola that they were worshiping Zeus. When we went to the museum, the image of Zeus is there on the wall. Because when they showed you the Trinity, the Trinity is really the Virgin. They call the Virgin Mary was in the picture, what they call the Virgin Mary, which I know actually was Ishtar, the mockery.
Mm-hmm.
And then they showed you the white Jesus in the picture, which we know that's really, what's his name? Helios Christos for the Greeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see this godlike figure with a pyramid behind his head. That's white. So they're calling him, and they were calling him Deus at the time when they conquered the Kingdom of Congo. So that would have been Zeus.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't. And when they showed the Catholic Church making his bow in the picture that we saw, and then they mocked it, you could tell it was a mockery, because at the bottom you see that they called the Kingdom of Congo Ethiopia Occidental.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew that they were in Ethiopia.
They knew. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Brother Locks of Judah has a question.
How you doing,
Ah,
Pastor
okay.
Mello? I got a question.
Hello.
So is the Ark of the Covenant in Angola or in Kenya? Because the seers saying they're going to bring down the Ark of the Covenant on December 28th for like a ritual in Mount Kenya.
In Kenya,
So where is the Ark of
someone,
the Covenant located?
I think that these are mere speculations because the Ethiopians, and now I'm talking about Abyssinia, where, you know, our brothers and sisters Rastafari, they go deeply convinced that they are in Holy Land, okay, in Ethiopia. The priests of the Ethiopian faith, they say that the Ark of Covenant is in Ethiopia. But now, since we are aware of the true third secret of Fatima, we have someone with us who is greater than the Ark of Covenant and who knows exactly where the Ark of Covenant is. And the moment is coming when this secret about the mystery of Fatima comes out, where all these, you know, discussions about Mount Zion, the Ark of Covenant, and so on, will be completely useless because we will have with us the man who knows, who was there when the world, when the universe was created. Okay.
Ingeta. So to allow everyone to ask the question, we would like to ask everyone who has a question, please just raise up your hand for us to, so that Pastor Melo may answer the question, because time is running so fast.
Yes, sure.
Mpangi Benika.
Thank you very much, Sister Beshi. Well, Pastor Melo, once again, thank you very much. I was just, I was reading your book and I was checking
Which
some
one?
part.
Which one? Which one?
This one. The one we're dealing with,
Okay.
this one. Yes.
Okay, muito bem.
Yes. And then on the, I think page 252, and this is true. I was talking recently this to an elder a few days ago. It says that on the 25th May, 1516, a Catholic priest called is a father actually, Ruya Gyari.
Yes.
After he came to Congo Kingdom in Angola,
yes,
when he went back to Portugal to give the report to the King of Portugal, he said to the King of Portugal that the Kingdom of Congo, they in Banza, Congo, is not a human being. He looked like an angel.
yes.
Even he reported to the King of Portugal that when the King of Congo was speak, his word were full of wisdom. And he also said that the Kingdom of Congo, he knew better. Yes, the King of Congo, he knew better the good news,
Scriptures.
the scripture better than the missionary, the European people that brought the Bible. And then they say even they know he knows better the Bible, he knows the prophet, the apostle, he knows everything. And he looks like an angel. Please, can you tell us more about this?
It's very easy. You know, I would refer to something that happened to my great grandfather. It was in Banza, Congo. One day, he was summoned by the Portuguese to go and dig. You know, they were doing canalizations, work of canalizations in Banza, Congo, and they had to dig into the earth. And you know, they were digging, and in about 1.5 meter deep into the earth. You know what they found? They found vessels, okay? They found vessels with, oh, how do you say, parchemin, parchemin, you know, the, how do you say that in English?
How do you say in Portuguese? Can you say in Portuguese?
Pergamins,
Pergaminho.
yes.
It's like a
no.
letter.
No, it's, you know that the Bible in this form, it came when, you know, the Bible, this is the model, the modern form of the Bible. But in ancient times, the Bible was put, you know, around, you know,
It's
Leather.
scrolls. Scrolls.
Oh,
Scrolls.
Thank you very much. This is the word that was escaping me. Thank you very much. So my grandfather and his fellow people who were digging, they found verses into the ground at 1.5 meter. And these verses had scrolls into them made of animal skin with a mysterious writing. And when you go back to the Jewish or our ancestors' traditions, you know, they used, when there was a danger coming, a peril coming, they would dig into the earth and they would hide their sacred writings into the earth. And the one who was telling me that story was my grandmother. My grandmother, who was the daughter of my grandfather. And she said to me, I asked her, oh, so grandma, what happened to the scrolls? She said that the Portuguese, when they saw the scrolls, they took them out and they said to the indigenous peoples to disappear and not to tell anybody. And those scrolls, it was in the 19th century, they disappeared until today, which means that we had writings, holy writings. We knew the scriptures, okay? But when the Portuguese came, we had no interest to demonstrate to them that we were the people of, you know, the Isolele, because it was for us a question, as I explained recently, it was a question of life and death. We had to hide ourselves. And, you know, we have I would like us to read it again. I think that we have already read it. It is Psalm chapter 83 that explains why our ancestors had to hide, and also it explains at the same time the notion of what we, in our tradition, we call Mavila. Mavila means tribe and means also those who are hiding themselves, the hidden ones. Can we read Psalm 83, 1 to 3?
yes. Keep not thy silence, O Tata Nzambi. Hold not your peace, and be not still, O Tata. For lo, your enemies make a tumult, and they that hate you have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people, and have consulted against your hidden ones.
Okay. When or where have you heard about the white people who claim that they are Isolele, that they are hiding themselves? Have you ever heard it?
No.
But
No.
Never.
we, as Isolele, we had to hide ourselves. It was an orientation that we received directly from Tata Nzambi. It was a question of life and death. They say, and consulted against thy hidden ones. we were hiding ourselves. So to answer Benika's question, it's very simple. The king of Congo at that time, who took the name of Alfonso I, he knew the Bible before the missions he came. That's the reason why he was able to explain, the Bible, the prophets, and everything better than themselves. Okay? And I think that we should read also verse 4, which is very meaningful. They have said, especially.
Oh, sorry. They have said, come,
Yes.
and let us cut them off from being a nation, and the name of Isolele may be no more in remembrance.
Okay. So you understand why our ancestors had to hide themselves?
It's
And
making sense.
I will also give an example of what happens when you tell the truth before time. It's the story of our great hero, a woman, a young lady whose name is Kimpa Vita. Have you heard about Kimpa Vita?
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What happened to Kimpa Vita? She told the truth in front of the Portuguese, in front of the European missionaries. She told them that you are liars, and the true people of Tatanzambi are here. And Christ himself is from Congo, and he will come back here in the Congo kingdom. What happened? She was caught, and they killed her. Yeah, she was burned. She was burnt alive. So to avoid this to happen, let's say to the whole nation, we had to hide them ourselves. And those truths, we had no interest to tell them before time. But now, and I always give this sign for that people understand why those truths are coming out now. It's only because what Tatanzambi determines always happens. Tatanzambi determined 400 years of silence from 400 years of disappearance. And as you know, the 400 years were completed in 2019. So now when we tell the truth, we have Tatanzambi's blessing, Tatanzambi's powerful hand opening up the way so that the world now will believe. I gave you also the example that I was in the United States 10 days before the tragedy of the Twin Towers, 20 years ago. And for me, when I was on television talking about the third secret of Fatima, I was convinced that it was the time for the truth to be known throughout the world. But now I realized that it was not possible, because at that time, in 2001, the 400 years were not completed yet. That's the reason why this tragedy, yes, I can't say that it was because of that, but it was one element explaining why since 2001, it's only now that I'm able to speak out again about the true third secret of Fatima.
Wow, it's powerful.
Yes,
again.
Okay, there's another, excuse me. In order to complete my answer to Benika's question, you know that for the Europeans, our ancestors didn't know how to write and how to read. Now, if you don't have any notion of what a book is, okay, you can't, this is the reason why linguistics is very important. You can't have a word of something you don't know. To give a name to something, you must know that these things exist. Now, our ancestors, if it's true that they did have any notion of what a book is, they couldn't have a word, a specific word in our Bantu languages to designate the book. Okay? But when the Europeans came with the Bible, you know, they say, okay, you have it in this form, paper form, but for us, it's Nkanda. I will write it down for you. Nkanda means book. Okay? It's like that. Nkanda.
Wow.
Okay? It means book, but at the same time, it means scroll. All right?
Oh.
Yes.
Sir Pastor Melo, the term our sister wrote on the chat is like parchment. I don't know if I'm,
okay.
yes, they say in English, the right word.
Parchment, but scroll is exactly what the word I was looking for. But
Kanda
you know,
is
scroll, parchment is based on skin, on animal skin.
Wow.
And Kanda means animal skin and book at the same time. So our ancestors knew that animal skin was used as an instrument of writings. And this is typically Jewish, because in many other civilizations, you will find people, for example, in Egypt, they were writing on papyrus, they were writing directly on stones. But the tradition of writing on animal skin is typically Jewish. And this is what the word Nkanda means. Okay?
Wow. In Zulu, Kanda means like head, like you're not where your knowledge is.
Nkanda means head.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm noticing so many things. I'm noticing intentional changes in the languages. Because sometimes we have the same name, but it means something else, but it still has a relation.
Yes, yes.
I noticed that.
I can see a relation between Kanda in Zulu and the word head in Kikongo. You know that the word head in Kikongo is Ntu.
Ntu.
This is the root of Muntu. Muntu. In fact, Muntu means the head. Okay. Bantu means the heads. And head is the word to say the king, the chief. Okay. And the notion of belonging to a community is about your head. All right. So this makes a link between Kanda, the head, and to the head.
Yes.
Amazing.
No, I was.
And you know also Kanda is also the root of the word kind, the kind, kindred, and everything. But one day I will explain it in a better way.
Yes. I remember my grandfather telling me.
Trey was about to speak. Excuse me.
Yeah, I was, because when you say Kanda, and that's what really got my attention, is because when I made the discovery about the, what do they call them, the Native Americans from Nebraska, they called the Most High Wakanda.
Wakanda.
Yeah.
Oh. We'll have to deep into this matter.
Well, because I learned there were Bantus in North America before the slave trade. The Native Americans that they made walk the Trail of Tears is what they were called. They called them. It was the ones who did the Trail of Tears. It was the Chiricahua. They called the Most High Yahweh. They made them
Okay.
walk from Georgia to Oklahoma. Those were actually Bantu, as I now understand.
And
They
these are
even claimed there was even a professor who broke down their language, and they said it sounded like it comes from the Hebrew origins.
Mhm.
They even used to practice this. They used to actually do the Sabbath before Europeans came. So, I mean, we know that Kuswa said in the scriptures that our people were scattered even before when he came. He said, "Go find my sheep." There is actually, and I know somebody mentioned the Hopi. There's actually a story that they tell where the one that they knew the real Jesus came and gave him a prophecy about America, because those people actually lived like Bantu people before Europeans came and Spaniards, because they were sheep herders.
Okay.
And one of the things that happened was they said that they saw the future of the land, and they were excited. They wanted to become a part of it. He said, "Don't ever change. Stay where you are, because this is going to be all poison." And what was weird is I always wondered when I saw those people, when I went down to that region, why they always remain the old ways. They have the adobe houses, they have the sheep herding, they make their clothes with a loom. They never really use anything mechanical like how we use. And when I heard the story about that, it started to make sense that they have obviously a connection somehow, because they were warned not to become modernized. That they saw how the water would poison people and how the air would be poisoned in a vision. So, and the Most High gave me an amazing discovery. I now know why they used us to hunt Native Americans as the buffalo soldiers.
Okay.
Some of us were the same. So they used our spirit to find their spirit.
Oh.
The buffalo soldiers were used to hunt Native Americans. And see, the only reason why the Native Americans that you see that they were hunting had the straight hair and flowing hair was because they hide the fact that the entire Western region was controlled by the Spaniards long time ago. So they had already started changing their image through the conquistadors that came up from the south. So I know that not all Native Americans are connected to Bantu culture. But remember, I showed you the rock in New Mexico is written in our language. So
to make your point clearer, you should explain what is a buffalo soldier for those brothers and sisters who don't know.
So if you ever heard Bob Marley sing about it, Buffalo Soldier, what happened was after slavery, many of our people started to form their own land out west because it wasn't part of the United States. They even went as far as California because Watts actually existed before California was even a country. Just real quick, they called us Buffalo Soldiers because of their afros. We look like the buffalo that they were hunting.
Yes. And buffalo was sacred to them.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
just quickly, Pastor Melo, sorry, before you leave, I think you've given me a very integral, all of us an integral piece of information in terms of how to reach the African sub-Saharan Bantus. And you mentioned it through the languages. And the one thing you said was, it was intentional that they hid themselves. They didn't want to be known.
Yeah,
and
sure.
when I look at the languages, I'm thinking it makes sense, because at first I was very frustrated that this isn't obvious. I mean, of course, our ancestors had to know. I remember my grandfather speaking about the migration from Central Africa down. He said that we came from higher, and he said he went down into South Africa, and then putting the things together, I'm realizing they were escaping the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade. They came down to South Africa thinking they'd be able to flee it. And when I look at the languages, like in Kikongo, Nkosi is a line. In Nkosi, is closer means king or a chief. And when we're speaking about the Most High, we say Nkosi Namakosi.
Let me interrupt you. It's very, very important. When you say Nkosi in South Africa, okay, it's Kuswa. Okay, it's Kuswa in Kikongo. And Kuswa actually gave Yuswa. Yuswa gave Yehoshua, and Yehoshua gave Jesus. And Kuswa is also the root for Caesar. Caesar, who was, written Caesar. Caesar is Kuswa.
Oh,
yes,
okay. Yes. This is how we're going to reach the South African Bantus, because we're very possessive of our tribes and our cultures, but when we stop putting them together, we see the clues. For example, the Xhosas still to this day, do you know what they call the Most High? They call him Kamata, and the K is interchangeable with the Q is interchangeable with the K, which is Kamata. And as we know, Kamata is Bantu for Kemet.
Kemet, yes.
Egypt. And if only they would make the connection that the Kamata that they've always used to call God, it means the one who conquered Kemet.
Yes. Yes. No, linguistic is something absolutely fantastic. Look, okay. This is a way I could write Zambe or Zambi.
Okay.
Okay. We just take out the nasals. You see? Zabe. And in linguistic, Z is very often altered into Y. And B is altered into V. So Nzambe actually is Yahweh. All right? Okay.
Oh my goodness. We are running out of the time. According to Pastor Melo, it's supposed to finish our parts in 6 minutes. We don't want to pass the time. So we really thank you a lot, Tio Melo, for your time and explanation. But before you go, please, can you give us the final consideration about the topic as well, please?
Yes. For those of you who already started to speak to other people, can one of you give a testimony of where they are finding resistance? What is the point of resistance? People don't believe when you say that, for example, Christ is African, Christ came back, and this is the third secret of Fatima. What would people say?
Oh, they think we've joined a cult.
Lost your mind, crazy that you've been possessed by demons.
Yeah. A lot of people I know say it doesn't matter. The skin tone doesn't matter.
Oh, no. This argument I heard very, very, very often. If it doesn't matter, why did the Edomites do everything to wipe the true image of Christ? Okay? This means that it's very important because they can control your mind. They can brainwash your mind to believe that they are gods. You will fear them. Our ancestors was very resilient because if you consider someone to be the representation of the Most High, how can you resist him?
Well, we forget Esau was a Bakongo.
Yeah.
So he's poisoning their minds.
They were poisoning our minds. And now that the truth is coming out, they say, oh, it doesn't matter. He can be white, he can be black, he can be yellow,
Right.
it doesn't matter. No, it matters because the other day I was with another group and I explained to them that one of the great problems that the world has, and principally the Christians, is that they don't know who Christ is. They don't know him. Okay. I will just give you, imagine that people created by Tatan Zombie would be able to create such weapons like atomic bombs, nuclear bombs. When we look back, what happened? It was in 1945 with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Oh, white people, they believe that they can act like the creator. They can decide on who has the right to live and who has not the right to live. So they dropped those bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki and killed in 1 second, in 1 minute, 200,000 people who are Tatan Zombie's creatures, who are daughters and sons of Tatan Zombie. And this is only one example to make you understand why color matters. I know Kuswa Congo. I know him. He is the humblest man, the best, well, okay, the humblest man in the world. He will never admit to have the same color than those persecutors, those who are able to wipe out 200,000 people in 1 minute. No, it's like, you know, a football match, a football competition. In order to, for the judge who is in the middle of the two teams to be able to know who is who, they can wear the same how to say, the same how do you call that when it is about sport, not uniform, but
outfit.
Hello? They can wear the same color, let's say, okay?
Yes, uniform, she
The
said.
judge will, he must be able to see, those in yellow, they are from the Italian team. Those in white, they are the French team, okay? And spiritually, it's also like that. Because fortunately, I'm very sad to say that, but you know, the enemy, Satan, has put his, he has his chosen people. He has his chosen people. And the Most High knows, Kuswa Congo knows, and he will never admit to be identified with those who have been chosen by the enemy. Okay?
Yes.
It is now almost 40 years that I'm living in Europe, in France, with white people. and it is very easy to see, to have evidence that in fact, yes, the devil has chosen them. Because I have an article on the way, the imagination that white people have to kill people, okay? And it is awful, awful. You can't imagine that human beings would be able to imagine such tortures. Let's take the cross, okay? Do you think that a black man could have invented the cross? To put someone on a piece of wood, to nail his hands, to nail his head, his feet, and look if he's going to die quickly. Oh, no, no, no. We have to put another angle to the wood so that he stays more time on the cross. It's horrible. You can't imagine. You can't find such horrible things in our traditions. You can't. But white people, they invent things that a son of Tatanzambi or a daughter of Tatanzambi can't imagine. Can't imagine. It's incredible. That's one of the reasons why Kuswa Congo, whom I know personally, he will never bear to be mixed up. We have to know when you open the Bible, okay, and he's talking about, he's referring to his people, you will see immediately that these matches and these doesn't match. Okay, one of the conditions for us to be Isolele is that imperatively we had to be the last ones. It is written in the Bibles, because Kusokomo himself, he said, to be the first with me, you must put yourself in the last, row. And this is our position. And this is one of the reasons we are despised by the whole world. Even in India, they feel that they have the right to kill Black people. Imagine. Only because we are obeying Tatanzambi's orientation to be the humblest people in the world. Okay? Humility is the sign of grandeur, to be great in the eyes of Tatanzambi. You must be the most humble people in the world. Okay? And it's the other way around. People believe that those who are in Palestine today, who says we are Jews, they actually are Jews because they are the best ones, the most intelligent, the most beautiful, the most richest in the world. And this argument is contrary to Tatanzambi's criteria. But people have eyes to see, they don't see. They have ears to hear and they don't hear. So definitely, if tomorrow someone tells you that color doesn't matter, ask them, if it is so, why you white people, you made everything possible to say that Christ is white? Why? Knowing that Christ appearing 2,000 years ago in that area of the Middle East, so-called Middle East, the odds are more for him to be brown skinned, not to say black skin, but brown skin, than the portrait that has been spread out throughout the world, which corresponds to human criteria, okay? Which corresponds to Hollywood. And now, when Tatanzambi is warning us as a people to beware of idols, the first idol is that white Jesus. The first idol is that white Jesus who never existed. You're kneeling before him, and it's the one who is called the bearer of light, Lucifer. Okay, and it's written in the Bible. We will read it, and I will have to leave you, my dear brothers and sisters. sisters. I think it must be 1 Corinthians chapter 11. No, second Corinthians chapter 11. Chapter 11, verse 14. Okay?
Okay. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Okay. If I translate rightly, angel of light, it's Lucifer. Lux in Latin means light. Okay. So that image of the white Jesus is exactly an angel of light. Meaning, since Satan's desire has always been to be worshipped, okay, he found an easy way to be worshipped, transforming the true image of Christ into his own image, which corresponds to Hollywood, if you see what I mean. Okay, so color is very, very important to know who is who. Good.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much for your patience to hear me, and I'm ready to come back on Sunday to go deeper into this matter, and just tell me a few days before to get organized.
All right. Madondo, Pastor MELO, I must say some of us have never heard such good news in our whole life, because we've been fed lies, and to hear the truth, it just sounds like music to our ears. Just to see the world differently, and we could not be more grateful. Madondo, Madondo. It makes all the tears worth it. Even in our family, we don't even mind being called crazy anymore when we see people like you who have been here for years. Thank you.
My divine pleasure, my dear niece, my special. Okay, so
Matondo, we really appreciate once again. But before Theo MELO, please, before you go, as usual, we would like to thank you, and can you please lead us in a prayer and a blessing before you leave us, please?
So after that, you will translate my prayer, okay?
Amen.
Yes. I will pray in Kikongo, and you will sum up.
I'll need your help.
Let's pray. And you know, your name is typically Jewish. You know that? Tusamba means let's pray. Tu is we, okay?
Yes,
Samba
plural.
is to pray. So just take out the nasal of samba. Take out the nasal.
Saba.
Saba, the Sabbath day, the day of prayer.
Yes.
Oh, so to samba. Wavelela, Eyawe wasedieto. Enza Yezulu izele yonkembwa ku. Tatanzambi yamazulu. Ngeye nsemi Yezulu yenza. Ngeye mpungu ngolo. Ngeye mpungu wete. Ngeye mpungu tulendo. Eyawe wasedieto tuizidi wanavena nkunda kia bauka. Kia nkembo. Munavutula matondo. Yahve wasedieto munowu ngeki beni unayeto tuadi. O tatanzani wasedieto gizidi yekeka wanaku yawa wonsono wanaku benaku vala kuna diaspora yahve. Tuzidi kuba yekeka munamoko mao kukimana wabatemona bavumbuka bazayavo yau isolele kibeni. O kala yao. Tense kako kwa kolunene vanavena wana kwa wonso no yave. Ubasambula munankumbwe tatwa vaukase mwana yo mwanda velela. Ingeta.
Ingeta, matondo,
Okay.
matondo.
Ingeta.
So, Corey,
Bye-bye.
according
So,
to, bye-bye.
Brother Yisolele, always a great pleasure to see you and to hear you. To drink your words of wisdom.
And you also. Pleasure.
And
Learned a lot.
thank you very much to all sisters and brothers. And as you always, our link, our bond is a bond of love. Zola Mosi, one love. Bye-bye.
Love one another. Zola Mosh.
Okay, bye-bye.
Ingeta, Ingeta.
Matondo
Matondo,
Masaka.
Matondo Masaka. Thank you, dear brothers and sisters. Now, to sum up the prayer of our Pastor MELO, according to his prayer, first of all, he was thanking Tata Nzambe for the day. And then he said, please, Tata Nzambe, bless your Yana Yaku, means your children's that are in diaspora. And then let your Holy Spirit, your Mwanda Vedala, be with them all, Nsambo Lolo, and bless them all as well. That was the sum up of the prayer of our Pastor MELO in Kikongo. Now we're going to leave the floor open to everyone to discuss. But before that, we would like to hear from our brother Ivo Shilala, because it's the first time in this Bantu awakening. And we would like to hear from him. He's from Congolese Church. How did you see this first meeting with our fellow brothers in diaspora, Brother Ivo Shilala?
Well, thank you very much, Brother Samba. Greetings to everyone, according to the climate situation where you are. It's Ivo Chilala. I prefer to be called Ivo Chilala due to the African accent to be heard. Well, I have to say that it was really, really wonderful while I was listening to everyone's intervention, mainly the Reverend, which was really, really, really interesting to me. While I was speaking, I was thinking on what has been posting by a friend who was decided to make to make himself as a part of a community which is named that's Ubuntu. That's Ubuntu. And when he was posting about this issue, people were constantly saying that it was going mad, it was going crazy, and I was like supporting him because I could realize that what was saying was somehow true. The first time he posted, he came to say that Simon Toko is a kind of Christo too, and people were like, "Are you mad? Are you crazy? And what the hell are you saying?" And he was saying, "You do not accept this because your cerebral system has been trained to accept those European issues." And I was like, yeah, God really exists in Africa. And with this meeting, I felt marvelous. Even your interventions about linguistics, I was connecting because I was studying linguistics at university. I was connecting to what I've been learning, consent to language formation, its origin, the origin of writing and the origin of speaking and whatever was really amazing. And I just want to say thank you very much for having given such a great opportunity. When I'm speaking from Angola, Wambo, locally. Yes.
Just before you leave, where you from? Are you Umbundu, right? Tell us your tribe.
Yes. I'm of Imbundu. I was born in in Lobito, Benguela. Lobito, because it's Olupito, which means a way through. The time people just used to pass by Lobito and move somewhere else. And it came to exist as this. Yes, Lobito, Colupito, which is a way.
You have some brothers that's also from, you know, from
Yes, please.
your
Brother
side,
Can
Bundu tribe. You have some brothers and sisters from Bundu.
well, exactly. Here in the meeting.
Yeah, on Zoom. That side in US.
Okay. Wow.
But never mind, never
good,
mind.
good.
It's fine.
That's good. Thank you.
Matondo, brother Eve Shilala, for these amazing words that he just gave to us. It is really a pleasure from our side. We're gonna please invite you, not be the first time, come always. That is your family, Bantu family, that we are all in the world, American, Europe, South Africa, and other countries of Africa as well, praising the name of Tata Nzambi Yamazulu. So